Hey guys, Frostborn just came out with the new update and it is absolutely fantastic. It's kind of what I've been wanting for Frostborn for a long time. Unfortunately, I kind of wanted it to happen before while the classes were more balanced. And hopefully the devs will balance the game again, but right now it's going to be a little bit of a bloodbath, but it's still going to be a lot of fun. Basically, they added this season is completely PvP season. Like, you can only get points in a PvP zone. Some of you I know are gonna hate that, but I hopefully I will show you some ways to survive the onslaught. You may die quite a bit, but hopefully we can work it out. I'm gonna show you a little bit about this season. I kind of go over everything about this season. So the main things you need to know. The season is very attainable. I did this in one run. I got 250 points in one run. And if I had just gotten that amount of points for that day, then that would have been enough for all 21 days for me to finish the season. Finishing the season gives you the new duelist class, which is, it looks absolutely amazing. The new duelist class, which is at 75. There's now 100 season, so there's more rewards than there's ever been, and so you can see the duelist class is given to you at level 75, and that's very attainable. And the class is really cool. You've got it's got a grappling hook, which is, if you haven't seen my video, I kind of covered it already in that video, where the grappling hook's kind of that blitz crank. You can pull someone in, and then you've got this, duel arena. You throw it out, and it kind of surrounds them. And so, and that's designed, I think they designed it for one-on-one PvP. You kind of create a duel where it's just me and you, but I think it's going to be way more effective in a team context, because you're going to get that, basically you can separate people. It's really good crowd control. You not only got a pool, but you can also designate an area. That's really powerful crowd control. But then one thing I didn't cover in that video that's helpful to know is that you get plus 60% extra damage, which basically averages around the same as a Thrasher. And then you've got an extra 60 health, which is a little bit more than the Thrasher. So I would say the Thrasher still does a little bit more damage when you consider that the Thrasher gets that plus 30%, where it matters more. It matters a little bit more in the first half versus the second half. Technically, it averages the same, and so it's probably not that big of a difference. It's really a difference between skills. The Thrasher has a lot of stuns. It has a gap closer, and the duelist. Oh, but one thing I forgot about is that the duelist gets plus 35% more damage in that area. So if he's in his duel area, he's going to be doing quite a bit more damage than a Thrasher. So I think the duelist is going to be really OP, especially since the Thrasher is so powerful right now. But I don't know. We'll see. The Thrasher is really powerful because of stuns, though, and that definitely gives it a huge advantage. This one is going to be a little bit different, but I think it is going to be OP. Actually, I don't know if it's going to be able to beat the Thrasher, but it's definitely going to be OP, because if you go back to the season, there are 2 new weapons, 2 new legendary weapons, and they are ridiculous, like absolutely ridiculous. So first I want to show you the sword and shield. 35% chance to reflect 25% of the damage you receive from the attacker. And so that's already like pretty awesome, right? Just knowing what we know about shields. Well, here's the crazy thing. It now blocks an extra damage. So when you, as a protector, have that tripled, you're getting to block 18 damage half the time. Now, that's insane amount of damage to block. And so it's, and then those axe and shield does 66 damage per second, which personally I really like it. I like when they increase the melee DPS, so that if a melee guy can stick to an archer, they're going to be able to do more damage. So I like that aspect, but it's just ridiculous to have all of those in combination. So definitely a legendary weapon. If it might make it to where the protector is really powerful. Basically, the protector might be good enough to do solo PvP, which I don't like necessarily because the protector's so strong. But then the reason why the Thrasher and the Duelist are just going to dominate the world, and those of you who don't have maybe Thrasher or Duelist, but you have Berserk 3, I know some of you guys did it for PvE, you might actually find some success with Berserk because this Thorax does 77 DPS. It's insane, and it does a chain stun. Now, it's only an 18% chance, but if you're doing solo and you hit that 18% chance, you just stun them for 2 seconds. That's still pretty good. I don't know what the chances are on a stun hammer. Let's actually check to see if it tells you. So it just says with a chance. So it doesn't tell you the exact number, but it's also a 2-second stun. So in my mind, I have a feeling based on just a hunch that it's the same as the stun hammer. So basically this Thorax is basically a stun hammer now that has way more DPS, and it can actually do a chain stun, which is pretty insane. They also added a new heavy armor. It's better than plate armor now. So you got Guardian's boots, you got Guardian's armor, just like the other purple specialty armors. Basically, it's just better armor. It's got that 18% movement speed like the other, the Chaser armor and the Mage armor, which I forgot the name of it. But it is heavy, and it's got that extra armor. So you can get a lot of extra armor. I'm going to get you all the exact stats on that, but it's pretty good. Another thing to keep in mind is that the chest in here, they added a free chest for free-to-play players. So for the free line, which is the first time Frostborn's ever done that. And it actually has a lot of stuff for getting points. You've got, basically 50 points here, and then you've got dispel potions, and then leather strips. I'm assuming they're thinking for points, and then a rune bag, the sword and shield. You've got basically some dragon weapons, and really the dragon sword and shield is the best of those. The dragon bow's okay. Dragon bite is okay. You also have Skull's Claws, which does not seem... That looks like it's been buffed. Oh my gosh, I need to check this. Hold on. Actually, I'll do that in another video. So I'm going to check those things. I'm going to check all the balance stuff, see what they've changed, what they've tweaked. They might have made a balance shift. We'll see. But this chest is about points, the gift chest, and there's some in the free version and in the paying version. But then this last chest is a different thing. Okay, this last chest has the cert bottle, the dragon sword. Honestly, it's got kind of better stuff, and then the bonuses are the hedgehog. Oh, which is another. Okay. There's so much stuff they've added, and I haven't even gotten to the main thing they've added. But they've had a armored lynx, the ghost one, which some of you guys already noticed that was at the stables. You could already see a picture of that in the last update before this OBT. And then you've got the golden hedgehog, and you've got the light hedgehog, and then there's one other one, and that's at the very beginning, which you can see all the way at 1, which is way in the beginning, but it's in the premium version. So see it right there. That is the dark hedgehog. So the hedgehog, I want to show you guys a little bit of the stats of the hedgehog. Let me show you guys the stats of the hedgehog. Okay, so here's the stats. It's got the 5 inventory slots, so a little bit less than the bear. It's actually very similar to the boar. The hedgehog it's got a little bit more speed than the bear. Same armor as the boar, not as much as the bear, but not as much inventory slots. Travel speed is good. It's got 60% on the world map. Let me see what the boar is actually. Yeah, the same. So it's really very similar to the boar in almost everything, except its legendary perk is a healing aura. The healing aura restores 26 health to the rider and surrounding allies for 5 seconds. So that's a lot of healing. Well, I'm not 100% sure how to use this. I could see a healer, if you got this legendary stat. I mean, that's a lot of healing. That's basically 5 healing a second for your whole team. So if the healer wanted to just stay um, on its hedgehog for a while to see if it could get away, um, that might work, except you're not getting any damage in. So it would be a very rare circumstance in which you'd ever use this in PvE or PvP. But any PvE context, I mean, like basically you're constantly getting healed, which is pretty amazing. So yeah, it just makes it nice for sustainability in a PvE context. Now, the new PvP zone that I'm going to be talking about, it has a lot of PvE in it as well. So, and the hedgehog is technically, you can use it in there. I don't know if that's a bug that happened with portals and then they fixed it. So we'll see what they do. But that is at least important to note. Just to show you, they did not make any of the adjustments that we talked about for balancing classes. I don't think that was the plan. I mean, they don't mention anything in their dev notes about balancing the classes. So it seems like that's not even part of their attention. So, and I think that's actually good, because honestly, the game got way more unbalanced with the introduction of these weapons, these new weapons. So I would say I'm glad they didn't try to balance it, because really what we need to do is we need to experience this update and all of these new weapons. And now they're kind of done. I mean, they have all the new armors. They have a weapon for every class now, a legendary weapon for every class. So I would say now is the time that they can start balancing it. But, you know, some people have made a pretty good point that with the introduction of runes, the game's not going to really, I mean, it's technically balanced. Like, you could be balanced, but it's pay to win. Like, you could say, oh, if everyone spent the same amount of money, then could you still balance it? Yes. But it's just going to make it really difficult, because it's so hard to get runes. And it's not like they gave us a bunch of runes for, hey, you've been playing this game for 2 years, you would have gotten all of these runes. They just, you know, we're starting over. And they did one thing that they changed that is important to note, is they made it to where you can combine runes to beyond the level 3, all the way to level 5 now. So I think on my biggest class, the shaman, you can see here that I've got a few level 4 runes. I don't have what I need to get the level 5 rune. I have to get 2 level 4 runes to combine them, which you know, it doesn't add that much. And in some ways, this can actually, when people add those stacking things, it can balance things a little bit, because a pay-to-win person has to spend so much more money. I mean, they have to have, basically, in order for a free-to-play player to get to level 3, it's going to be 1/4 the amount of effort for someone to get to level 5. And if it's only a small difference, then someone could get all level 3 runes and be like, yeah, I can compete with the paying players who are trying to get all level 5. The bigger issue is trying to get the extra rune slots to finish your district level, because you really have to get up to district level, really high up there. I think it's, let's see, 130, 140, 150, 160. I think you have to get to 160 to be able to have full, basically all of the runes slots open to you. So personally, runes is my least favorite part of Frostborn, and this update has gotten me excited about Frostborn again, because I mean, I've been basically deciding to be okay with Frostborn being a PvE, not PvE game. It's a survival game with PvP elements, and I like that. I mean, there's some co-op elements to the game. There's the survival, like you're going into a zone to get stuff and you don't know what's gonna be there, so it's still the best of that kind. But they never really added PvP elements into the game, at least not the way that we wanted it. And so I finally just decided, well, you know what? If they want to make pay to win classes, or they want to make pay to win runes, who cares? Well, as soon as I finally was like, okay, I'm fine. I'm consigned to not care anymore. Then of course the devs make this update, which is a super PvP related update. I mean, you can get all of your points through this zone right here. And I'm going to show you. So we go over here. This is the live stream I just did. So when you go into this zone, there's enemies, which I'm trying to avoid all of these enemies right now. Once you go in, you can't get out unless you're going to be around to fight. So you can see I got on my horse, and I run over here to loot the chest, and then I kill him. Basically, the chests have blue stuff as a minimum, and then they have a lot of stuff have purples. But the best chests are in the middle. Okay, you can see this guy. I thought he was chasing me really slowly, but he's actually just patrolling slowly. And so okay, so you can see him over here. He's patrolling around. This is the solo zone, and this is the middle area. So if you can avoid the middle area altogether if you want, but the middle area has the best stuff. So the boss, you can't sneak up on him. This is Vigo. Is not much different than any of the other boss of their kind. I forget which one. I think it's not Gunnar Viper. It's, I think, Hawkdire that does that. So basically it's just a Hawkdire. And then you got these bones which come into play. They're very important. Those are worth 80 points each. So I just got 160 points towards the season in one chest. Okay, so it's definitely worth killing that boss for those season points. And then I go ahead and loot some of these other chests. You can see I got these 3. These are each worth 30 points. They do break down after 3 days. So you can do up to 3 days of farming season points, but eventually, and you can get up to 500 points total. And you can see I already have 250 points. So in one round, I got 250 points. You can only get 500 points a day. So, but that's okay. You do a couple days and you get, a bunch. You keep the runs that you don't want, or that you get that 500 points, and then you save the rest for the next day, and that way you can get that next 500 season points. It's actually pretty easy to finish. You're assuming that you win, but it's going to be worth it. You're also going to get a ton of loot. If you have backpacks in your inbox, that is going to be a win, because, going in without a backpack might be a good idea, or with a crappy backpack, but then there may be a time where you kill everyone and you're like, look, I'm just going to get my loot, and so you got to pull that backpack out of your inbox. It'd be totally worth it. So now this chest didn't have any bones. It had some dispel potions, which is it's okay, but I was surprised it didn't have any bones. So I went ahead and decided I wanted to move on at that point, and so you can see here I'm running. Now, one thing that's cool is it's either clockwise or counterclockwise, but your exit portal is someone else's entrance portal. So it is theoretically possible that you will never run into anyone, but it is likely that you will run into someone. So then you go over here and you talk to this guy and you turn in the bones, and you'll notice that it turned into personal stuff once you left the portal. They're not personal when you're in the portal. It's when you leave the portal that they become personal. Really good job, devs. I love the way y'all did that. Fantastic, because that way you can still get killed in the portal and lose it. If you kill someone in the portal, you can get their bones, but otherwise. One other thing to keep in mind about this area is you see these guys right here. There's a potion station and an armor station that if you have the coins to do it, you can just gear up almost immediately and go back into the fight, which is pretty fantastic. Yeah, it's just a lot of fighting. So I love it. The devs, I think you did a great job. I wish that the classes were a little bit more balanced. But honestly, this seems like it's a temporary event. And what I want is by the time you guys add the non-temporary event, or basically by the time you guys add whatever's permanently going to stay, that's when I'd hope y'all would try to find a way for us to have a little bit more balanced classes. Because this is amazing. This is the type of stuff that I think is just going to be amazing for Frostborn. It's going to allow us to get enough PvP to actually get good at it. For those of us who don't want to just sit around the zones for hours, it's going to make it to where it's worth assembling a team that's good so that you can actually fight it out. I just love this update. Thanks, Des, for making such an amazing update. I know some of you are going to be upset it's pay to win. I get it. That sucks. But I don't know. At some level, that this is Frostborn. There's going to be teaming. I don't think there's going to be as much teaming as you guys think there is. But I do think there will be some teaming. It would be smart to do some teaming, obviously, to 2 points, but I don't think I think it's going to be difficult because people are going to enter roughly around the same time, and so it's going to be more like druids. There's less teaming in druids. In fact, I don't see a lot of teaming in druids when I go. I don't know about you guys. There's a lot of teaming in the zones. Well, this is very similar to druids in the sense that it opens at one time and you go in and you do it. So this is really, this is fantastic. I love it. What I really would love, devs, if you added this, something like this permanently, and then you add in an arena that you don't lose gear, that was only open when these other events weren't open, and that way we could practice in between, because, you know, again, for some people that are not good at PvP and that are not rich, it is so costly to go into something like this and then just to lose everything. It's super fun, but you know, you're going to lose the first few times because you got to get used to it. There's something, I didn't think about that. You got to get that practice. And so hopefully y'all think about doing that, something to give them a chance. I don't care. It's amazing. Great job, devs. And okay, that's it, guys. I hope you let me know what y'all think about this update in the comments. All right, guys. See you next time.